Hi guys, we've been testing out this brilliant Jackery Explorer 2000 version 2, and today we're going to explain to you all the different ways that you can justify buying one. That's right. I'm going to talk to you about how you might be able to justify buying one of these, because there's so many different things that you can do with one of these. And when you see one of these videos, people usually do what I'm about to do here, which is show you it boiling a kettle and those kind of things, which is all very interesting. But I've got a couple of other use cases for you that you might want to consider, which might help you justify one of these, because we use it in the house. We also use it with a fridge freezer when we're away, and it just takes the strain off our leisure batteries in the van just that little bit, and we know it's self-contained, we know it's going to run it for a nice long time. So we're going to do a test of that fridge freezer. We're going to charge this up to 100%, we're going to run it on the fridge freezer, and then we're going to see how long it will run that for as a freezer at -18 constantly. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you it in the house, as I say, with a different use case, and I've got one for the van as well as boiling this kettle. But first things first, let's talk about what this is. This is a Jackery Explorer 2000, so that means it's 2000 watt hours, just over 2000 watt hours of power in here. New construction, it's a lot smaller. It's about the smallest one I've seen on the market. I think it is the smallest on the market for this size of capacity. And it also has a 2.2 kilowatt inverter in here. So you can run, broadly anything on this. Normal, if it's going to plug in with a normal plug, broadly speaking, anything you can think of is going to run just fine off this. And as you'll see later in the house, we really do put that to the test. So in terms of outputs and all that kind of stuff, very usual on this. So you've got two USB-Cs, you've got a 30 watt one and a 100 watt one. So if you've got something which charges quickly on USB-C, there's a good high power one on there. USB-A socket on there as well, 18 watts, they're getting a bit old these days. Normal cigarette lighter socket, 12 volt socket on there, that's rated at 10 amps as well, so really good power there if you're going to power something which is a plug in, and that's what we use for our fridge freezer, which I'll show you a bit later. And then obviously you've got your two main sockets on here. It's got an LED light and all that kind of stuff too. Now, there's a couple of reasons I really like the Jackery power banks, and one of them is the app. Because this has got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi built in. And you might think, well, why is that important? Well, Bluetooth, obviously, when you're near it with your phone and everything, there's an app on your phone, I'll show you in a minute, which just helps you work it all. It can, obviously, you can see the state of charge and everything else. And if you've got this in the boot of the van or in the garage somewhere, it means that you don't have to get out, have a look at how much charge is left and turn it on and off and all that kind of thing. It's really handy just having that app. Now, Wi-Fi is really interesting, because if you connect this to Wi-Fi, it means that you can then check on it remotely, because it talks to the cloud, talks to your Jackery account, and reports kind of state of charge, and you can control it remotely, which is exactly what we did when we did the fridge test. So we went away for the weekend, we left this on, connected to the Wi-Fi, and I could check on it using my phone over 5G. I was just out and about, checked on it, and I could check at every moment what it was doing, and I could turn it on and off. I could see what state of charge it was, all that kind of stuff. Very handy to be able to do that if you're not right next to it. So definitely a really handy thing. So I think what we'll do, just to show you how the app works and everything, I'm going to connect my phone to this one here. Let me just start the recording on my phone, and I'll put it on the screen so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right, so I've gone into the Jackery app. I'm going to go into Explorer 2000. It's going to connect with Bluetooth, and you can see at the moment we've got 21% power. The battery itself's at 23 degrees. I haven't got any of the outputs switched on, so DC or AC, haven't got either of those switched on. I've got the light here, which I can turn on and off. I won't put it on strobe, but it has got an SOS mode. And then you can turn the screen on and off and all that kind of stuff. The settings in here are quite nice as well, because you can change the charge settings, so fast charging, quiet mode, all that stuff. And we do a noise test a bit later on just to see how quiet it is, even on the fast setting. There is an emergency charging setting here, which basically means that it really ups the power when it's charging to about just over 2 kilowatts, 2.1 kilowatts, if you really need to charge it quickly. And that's under an hour to 80%. It's a really, from zero, it's a really quick charge. Battery settings, obviously you can set it so that it only uses a certain amount of the battery if you're trying to save the degradation of the cells and all that kind of stuff. Energy saving mode, it'll automatically turn itself off and all that kind of thing, and you can do your firmware upgrade and stuff. Let's turn the AC on, because I've got this kettle with me here, so you can turn the AC on through the app. And then obviously it's turned the inverter on, and if I turn this on here, you'll see obviously it's light's gone blue on the kettle, and on the display, this is only a 650 watt kettle that we use in the van. You can see it's running that no problem at all, and it's so quiet. It's so quiet. There's hardly any fan running on that to run that at that power at all. And obviously the kettle is boiling away there. I'm going to stop that because that's going to get noisy really quickly. Right, so in terms of other use cases then, we really think from a van point of view, a couple of really good ones. You can use it to charge your leisure batteries, and we'll talk about that in a second. And let's talk about the fridge as well. So in terms of the fridge, we set it all up, we set it going, and let's go and have a look at that after we've just talked about charging the leisure batteries with this. So another great use for one of these is to be able to top up your leisure batteries. Now, wouldn't necessarily suggest running the 240 volt inside the van from this setup. You need to make sure it's earthed properly and all that kind of thing. However, if you've got leisure batteries and you are looking to try and top them up because you've used lots of heating, or you generally had loads of lighting on, everything else, maybe you're off grid for a while, just running out, this is a great way of being able to top them up, because obviously you can use a normal hookup cable with one of the 3-pin adapters, plug it in, and because this is a 2 kilowatt size of Jackery, that is a huge amount of power that you're able to top up into your own leisure battery. So it will give you much more time off grid, and then obviously if you've got solar panels, you can charge this up and do it again. So yeah, another great use for having one of these on board. So we are going to do a real world test of our little Dometic fridge freezer. So this is a small compressor fridge freezer. We take this away with us. It sits between the seats here in the van, and this can go down to minus 18°C. So it does work really well as a freezer. Obviously you can run it as a fridge as well, but basically the most it's going to draw power wise is going to be when it's being a freezer. So I've pre-cooled it in the house, brought it out here. It's at minus 14 at the moment, and I've literally just turned this on. We've got the Jackery Explorer 2000 here, big power bank. And this is currently at 100%, charged it up to full, and currently, because this is just cooling itself down back down to the minus 18, it's pulling 27 watts. We've got it set up with the 12 volt, so I'm using a cigarette lighter adapter for the fridge, probably the most efficient and economical way of doing it. This reckons the battery would have 65 hours worth of power to do this if the compressor was running constantly, which obviously it won't. When it gets down to minus 18, it will cut off, and then it cuts in and out as it needs to. The other nice thing is that we're going to monitor this via Wi-Fi. So this has got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi built in. When you've got it on Wi-Fi, it means that you can see it remotely. So when we go out or whatever, we're going to be able to see what state this is in, what level of charge it's in, and everything else. And yeah, we'll monitor it and see how many hours / days of use we get out of this. So yeah, very excited to see how long this lasts, but it's going to be a few days, I think. Real world test. So how did we get on then running this freezer? Well, we checked on it remotely using the Wi-Fi, and you can see a couple of those check-ins that we did, and we calculated that this would run for 86 hours or 3.6 days. So it's a big battery, and obviously with a freezer like this running at -18, it's not the biggest of freezers, but I tell you what, that's a great use case for that battery. There you go then, that's given you a bit of food for thought, hasn't it? Finally then, let's have a chat about what we can do with this in the house. Now, if you haven't thought about it before, obviously these being this powerful and with this much capacity, if you're not out in your van, you might want to get the most use of it possible and to save a bit of cash as well. Well, let's go into the house and I'll show you what we use it for in there. So if you're looking to try to figure out how to justify having one of these Jackeries, there's another use case which you might want to think about, and that is using it in the house. So we're powering our washing machine, which is this one here, and our tumble dryer just there. We're powering those from this Jackery. This is a big Jackery, so it's a 2000, which means that it'll power these for quite a long time, probably about 2 washes, full washes, and 1 tumble dry generally, maybe 2. It depends how much we've got in there. And the way that we use this Jackery here is really straightforward. So we've got solar on the house. We've programmed this little smart plug which sits behind it, this one here. We've programmed that so that switches on when we've got more than 1500 watts worth of excess solar in the house, and that will then charge the Jackery up. So it effectively charges it for free on our excess solar. And then these white plugs here, those go round, you can see the cables there, they go into this cupboard where we've got 2 switches. So there's one switch there, one over the other side. Those basically allow you to select mains or battery for the washing machine and the tumble dryer. And as you can see, this is running the tumble dryer at the moment. So on the screen here, you can see we've got 100 watts or so for the tumble dryer. It's a condensing tumble dryer, so it's quite economical anyway. But you can see it's at the moment it's saying that it would run that for 11 hours, 11 and a half hours at that 150 watts, and that's with 80% battery left, so really not bad at all. Obviously not charging at the moment because it's got 0 on the input side. Obviously with the power of the washing machine, that is quite a lot more it takes. So you're talking about 2000 watts or so of power to heat the water when you put that on. We don't tend to run these both at the same time, just one or the other. And there you go, you see it's just pulling a bit more power now, up to 300 watts or so of power in the tumble dryer, down to 4.9 hours worth of tumble drying at that. So we don't generally have to pay for any electric whatsoever to be able to power our washing machine and tumble dryer here, because we use this like a mini house battery. Just another way that you can get the maximum value if you decide to invest in one of these Jackeries. I'm just about to charge this now, so if we have a look, it's on 19%. Look, I've got it in the kitchen here and I'm going to plug it in. And the reason I've got a noise meter here is because this is a really, really quiet unit to charge. So it comes with this normal kettle lead. You're not going to miss this one because it's bright orange. So what I'm going to do, if I'm just quiet for a second, we'll see what the normal sounds like. There you go, it's about 32 decibels. So if I plug this in, let's see what it does. So you can see there, charging wise, takes about 1.8 to 1.9 kilowatts of power. It's going to take 1.2 hours to charge to 100%. And if I just be quiet for a second, you can see how quiet this is. I mean, trust me, that is really quiet. Sometimes when you plug these in, different makes, we've got other makes of these, and I have to say this is the quietest one for charging that we've seen yet. This really, really is. So, other few bits and pieces in terms of spec then. It weighs 17.5 kilos. It's not a light battery, but you know, again, with this kind of capacity, you're not really going to find anything lighter than that. Really nice battery cell construction in here. It's a bit like if you've ever looked at a picture of the way that a Tesla has got its batteries laid out. It's lots of little individual cells all in a kind of matrix underneath the floor. Same in this, so all of the cells are in here, all really nicely packaged, completely European tested, so CE tested and TUV tested, all of that kind of stuff, to make sure that it's fully safe. So no issues whatsoever in terms of, you know, this catching fire or, you know, having any problems like that. So it's fully tested to be completely safe. And I think there's over 60 different safety features built into this to make sure that it's perfectly okay. Up to 400 watts worth of solar input it can take as well. So if you have a look at the Jackery webpage, you'll be able to see all the different options for the solar panels and stuff, which plug straight in the side. And obviously it charges with mains, as you've seen with the noise test that we did. So you can see how quiet that is too. Obviously got a handle on the top, nice rubber grip on it and everything. It's not going anywhere. Rubber feet on the bottom, so if you put it in the boot, it's not going to slide around and all that kind of stuff. Just a really, really solidly made, decent power bank. Really dependable, really reliable. We think it's absolutely brilliant. So if you want to know more about this, have a look on the Jackery website. We'll put some links on the screen now so you're able to see the latest discounts and offers and things. Jackery are great at trying to provide best value around these. So do check those out on the website. Have a look in the description for this video as well, and you'll be able to see more spec and all of the latest promotions and that kind of stuff too. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, give you a bit of an understanding of what you can do with one of these power banks. It's not just about boiling kettles, it will do an awful lot more than that. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful for you, giving you a bit of inspiration. Maybe it's given you that use case, which means that you can get one of these on your wish list. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon for some more Campervan Time.